Good morning, everybody. Okay, we are live from Newcastle as always, and today we are up on a place called Shepherd's Hill, and we're going to go for a little walk along the coastline. I can see that there's 5 people here with me. Give me a wave, say hi, let me know who's here, and welcome. And anyone who joins later, my name's Lynn, and we are live streaming from Newcastle, New South Wales, about 2 hours north of Sydney. Gorgeous day, no wind. I was really hoping for that, and it's turned out just perfect. And just look at what the sun's doing over there across the sea right now. Hi, Anne. Lovely to see you. Hi, Abe. G'day. G'day. How you going? All right, so there we go. That's the beautiful sky right now. And what we're overlooking here, if I move just slightly this way, that's Newcastle Ocean Baths on the point out there. And then just moving along the ridge, what we see directly in front of us is the Christchurch Cathedral, just above the green of the hill there. Hi, Sarah. Lovely to see you. G'day as well. So, and unfortunately, I can't zoom in using this particular platform, but the Christchurch Cathedral tower is kind of just between those pine trees over there. All right, let's turn the camera around. I'll say good day to you all properly. Okay. All right, good morning, everybody. Hi, and I think I already said hi, Anne, Abe and Sarah, and welcome to anyone else who's jumped on while we've been chatting. And we are starting today at a place called Shepherd's Hill, which was a military complex during World War II. And over my left shoulder there, you can see that was a radar signal post in 1942. So we're going to see some of the relics of that, and then we'll continue along our path alongside the sea. You might be able to hear the sound of the sea in the background. But before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we are meeting today on the traditional lands of the Awabakal people and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. All right, so let's turn this camera around. The sky is still looking gorgeous. It's doing wonderful things with its shining over the ocean over there. It's a bit of a drama changing this camera, as you know. So there, last shot before we head off on our walk. Just pointing up so you can see glistening on the sea. So here we go. This is the radar signal post. Hi, Jay. Good morning. And that was used in 1942. And then this, we believe, I actually don't know very much about this site, but we believe that this must have been a gun emplacement. You can see the circular pit down here. I can't think what else it would have been used for. But there, if we look down there, you can actually see the remnants of what, to my way of thinking, must have been a gun emplacement. And then we've got various other bits and pieces, relics from World War II, and the defence of Newcastle, because it was an industrial city and it was, and still is, the largest coal port in the world. All our manufacturing of steel, which was important to the war effort, happened in Newcastle. But from here we can actually see down. Let me see how far we can see down. Can we see the sea from here? Well, we can see the sea. Can we see the shore? Almost, but not quite. Hi, Annette. No problem at all, Annette. So we'll understand why you're not contributing to the conversation, and that's absolutely, totally fine. Please enjoy. So we're going to head down in that direction. But first of all, we need to get up to the top of the walkway. Let's head in that direction now. And this is where various military personnel were stationed that manned the site during World War II. So they lived in this house here, And then over here we've got more relics. And my ignorance of anything military, I cannot tell you anything at all, other than that this was a World War II defence site. Alrighty. So when we get up to the top of this path here, we're also going to see, so there's doorways down there that go somewhere down to underneath that gun emplacement, presumably. When we get to the top of this path, there'll be an information panel about the Aboriginal connection to this place as well. But this talks about the surveillance, and I'll just briefly, if I can read it, it's a bit worn. It just said that it's a radar station on Shepherd's Hill in the 1940s. Shepherd's Hill derived its name. Yeah, look, obviously people used this for raising sheep at some point, and then it became a defence site. So that goes into, it says it was the site of Shepherd's Hill forts, dates from the construction of an 8-inch disappearing gun emplacement in 1890, complete with underground rooms and a weatherboard cottage. The huge cannon was hidden in the adjacent spherical pit where it was covered by a steel shield. Okay, so it dates from before. We're just trying to be funny with hand puppet shadows. It dates from earlier than 1942. It was just used for the radar signal in 1942. I can hear magpies up in this Norfolk Island pine. This is Newcastle's Prestige Street, with this lovely house on the corner over here, which is actually still a private residence as far as we can tell. We don't know anything about it at all, but it's rather gorgeous. Hi, Mary Lou. Hi, Cynthia. Sorry, I've missed people jumping on. Let me just catch up with that. Oh, that's sad, Cynthia. I might chat with you about that later. Okay, over here, this is what I'm looking for. Canterran. Canterran is a place of cultural significance within the local landscape of Mooloolbinba. Mooloolbinba is the Indigenous or local name for Newcastle. And this talks about the presence of a coal seam being the key feature of Canterran. And of course, we all know that how important coal was to the early settlers as well, and continuing to today in contributing to the prosperity of Australia as a nation. And this one actually shows on the map where other important places are in Newcastle relative to the Aboriginal story. Okay, let's keep walking. Oh, and if I missed anybody jumping on, I apologise. Hi, Alicia, welcome. Lovely to see you. So this is the Shepherd's Hill cottage, and we're going to get a nice shot of it with that sky. Let's just have a look at that. Looking very pretty. And listening to the magpies. And this gives you the history of Shepherd's Hill Cottage in the 19th century, in the early 1900s, and then during World War II. So these are one of these things that I actually need to study up a little bit more on before I bring you here next time, so I can add more value to our tours in the future. But for now, let's just look at the gorgeous cottage against the sun and the beautiful sky, creating a lovely silhouette. That's okay, Alicia. No problem at all. We're literally just starting. It's no problem at all. So looking back down along this way, we can see that there are lots of, I guess they're turn of the century, as in 19th century houses, 19th to 20th century. All looking rather gorgeous. the lovely Newcastle's lovely old ladies. I know San Francisco has theirs. We've got ours as well. And there's another defence position over there. I have a feeling that my naughty daughters might have actually climbed out to that one during New Year's Eve one year. I could be wrong. It might not have been that one. Beautiful skies, aren't they? We've got a little library here, looking a little worse for wear. It's looking like it's catching the weather, but look, it's an old doll's house. It's even got stairs inside it, which makes it a bit tricky to stack books in, I would imagine, but but there, it's an old doll's house that's been converted into a little street library. All right, now we're heading towards a walkway, which is actually, it's a beautiful construction. It's called the Anzac Memorial Walkway, and it turned what was a precarious cliffside into a magnificent walk. So that's where we're heading now. And we're really lucky that the wind is almost non-existent, because the last time I came out here it was blowing a gale and we would not have been able to function at all under those conditions. So we're just going to walk up through this car park, and then we'll be at the start of the Anzac Memorial Walk. Whoop. Okay, now before we actually get to the walk itself, this house here, some of you may have been on this sculpture walk I did at Fort Scratchley a couple of years ago. And if you've got a good memory, you might remember this particular little hut here. That was actually one of the sculptures. A stained glass creation. And that was purchased by this house, the owners of this house here. So a little bit tricky to see it. But yes, that was one of the pieces that we saw during the Fort Scratchley sculpture walk a couple of years ago. And here we've reached the sea. We're going to walk in this direction down towards Merewether. And for those of you who love fence rails, Cynthia, I'm looking at you. I'm expecting to see all your lovely postcards later. Here you are. There you go, the view through the fence as well. Getting those artistic shots in. Oh, we have a magpie on the ground here. Just hopped up onto the seat. Good morning. Hello, Mr. Magpie. You're supposed to say hello to them. Then they won't attack you. You're supposed to let them know that you're not a threat. All right. So this is the start of the... Richard's trying to be funny with shadows again. They can't see it. This is the start of the memorial walk. And it actually indicates that dogs aren't allowed on the walkway. And if you have a dog and you're walking your dog, you have to go down that way. That way? That way. Down on the road. There's a path down here. But this is the view over Newcastle, guys. It's pretty beautiful, isn't it? And it's a gorgeous day. We're in the middle month of autumn right now. My favourite month of the year. I'll let these people get ahead of me because they're going to walk faster than me. But this is the start of the walkway. Um, Cynthia, I'll catch up with you with that later. I've just noticed what you're referring to, what you're talking about. So let me catch up with you privately with that full story. Sounds like something I need to be aware of. Okay, here we are. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. We have 3 magpies swooping below the walkway and over the cliffs. Okay, so this is the Anzac Memorial Walkway. And we have lots of information panels as we walk along here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will show you some of them. It was sponsored by BHP Billiton, which is Australia's big mining company. There's been lots of research being put into it in terms of the characters that have been depicted, the people that have been depicted here. And this one talks about how engraved on the steel sculptures are 3,859 family names of 10,000 known Hunter Valley men and women who enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force, Royal Australian Navy, Australian Army Nursing Service, and British and Commonwealth forces during the Great War, 1914 to 1918. And it's important to understand that, let these people go. It's important to understand that Australia only had 5 million people at the time of the First World War. And out of that population, more than 400,000. Hello, beautiful magpie. Hello. He's definitely looking at me. Okay, I don't mean you any harm. Out of 5 million people, population of Australia, more than 400,000 enlisted in that war. And of those, more than 60,000 were killed. So that's a significant number. It's a huge loss of Australia's population. Cynthia says, would love to be in autumn and the waves are waving. This is just looking back towards the sea and towards the sun, which is a little bit blinding, so I won't look directly at it. Sarah says, Anzac Day is soon, isn't it? Yes, it is. Anzac. The reason I came here today and not Anzac Day is I'm guessing that this will be a popular place for people to come to on Anzac Day, which is April 25th. I have something else in mind for Anzac Day that I'd like to take you to, and I have yet to schedule it and post it and actually think it through, but I think I'll do the dawn service. So here we can see the outlines of the each person represents a division, like the Navy, the infantry, the nursing service, and so on. And all those names that I referred to earlier are engraved on these cutouts, these silhouette cutouts. So there's on that side, and then we have more here on this side. And it's, as you can see, it's a very popular walk, and I'm trying not to get into people's way. But you can see here some of the names picked out on the silhouette, the cutout. And there we go. So for those who don't know, ANZAC stands for Australia-New Zealand Armed Corps, CORPS, meaning body. So and then these are the mounted personnel. There we go. They look magnificent against the sky, don't they? Okay, so we're going to keep walking along this amazing walkway. Look at it. Look at where it leads. Absolutely stunning views. And along the way, there'll be, again, little information panels that add to the story of our involvement in the First World War. So this one talks about the chronology of battles and Australia's involvement in the Great War, which began in 1914 when Prime Minister Andrew Fisher pledged the nation's support to the United Kingdom, which had declared war on Germany after its invasion of Belgium. And then on this side, we have one referring to the Australian Imperial Force. It's a shame that it's weathered and we can't really actually see the text on this one particularly well. So we'll keep moving. This magpie's following me now. And you can see what the landscape here was like before they built the walkway. Pretty treacherous. Dawn says, "Hi Lynn, have I found you live?" Yes, you have, Dawn. And hi, welcome. Lovely to see you. Oh, what a gorgeous morning. People, you have no idea. I hope you are getting some sense of just how beautiful it is. So this panel here lists the battles or the actual, I think they call them theatres of war. 1918, we had Jericho, Ébène, Denoncourt, Amman, Arras, and so on and so on. There. And then look at this. How beautiful is this? Beautiful. And we're going backwards in time now. 1917, we have East Indies, Gaza, Hill 60 and Hill 70. I don't know where that is. Probably in the Somme, I imagine, somewhere around there. The Adriatic Sea, I'm seeing. Jaffa, Jerusalem. Hi, Neil. Taking a break from taxes. Oh, my goodness. Neil, we are standing on the Anzac Memorial Walkway, which is in Newcastle. This is Newcastle City to our right over here. And you can see the port of Newcastle over there in the distance. And then on our left, we have the ocean. So where will I meet you? We're just going to get the car. Where are you going? Stop getting out of shot. Down the surf club, okay. What? Okay. All right, because it's downhill and there's a lot of steps. We're not going to walk back up this way. Rich is going to take the car down and meet me at the end of the walk. And look at this beautiful surf. Let these people get past again. Okay, so now we've arrived in 1916 and we can see Egypt, the Somme, Armentières, Fromelles, Pozières, Nancy, Flers, Magat. Most of these places I've never heard of. But we all know the ode, right? We all know the ode. They shall grow old. They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget. And Dawn says, I always have a struggle to find you on live stream. Oh, I'm sorry, Dawn. Do you have You need to find us on the calendar. Just go look at the calendar and see what's coming up. But subscribe and hit the notifications is the only way that I can suggest otherwise. And I did put an event in the live stream events Facebook group this morning as well. So I am trying. I'm trying to get the word out as much as possible. 1915, we were in East Africa, Gallipoli, Sari Bear, Lone Pine. Lone Pine was in Turkey. And look at this. Look down here. Look at this coastline. Absolutely stunning. And what a day. Okay. So we've reached 1914. 1914, we're in New Guinea, Rabaul, Nauru, Samoa, Solomon Islands. I'm not sure what we were doing there. And look down here, look immediately beneath us right now. If I click on the link, I can't chat. That makes no sense, Dawn. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm sorry you're having so much trouble. YouTube isn't making it easy for people right now, I have to say. I do find that I'm struggling to move between views where you can see the chat sometimes. So I know what you're talking about to an extent. Yeah, look at the sea, look at the waves, look at that. So this is looking down towards Merewether, and the first point that you can see is where Merewether Baths is located. And for those of you that were with me when we were overlooking the hang glider launch pad, that was that point there on the other side of it. Here we go. Jay says, Dawn, I can't chat ever for the first 5 or so minutes after joining any live stream. Maybe wait it out and see if it opens up. That's weird too, Jay. I cannot explain what's going on there at all. Okay, so this goes on again about the chronology of battles. And now we have some more of these cut-out silhouette figures coming up in front of us. So they're kind of bookend the main part of the walkway. The YouTube quirk, I tell you it's definitely YouTube doing weird things. I suspect it's nothing that Dawn's doing wrong. It's just really trying to navigate what YouTube throws at us. So we have the mounted infantrymen here, and then we have regular soldiers, nurses, and I suspect that these are airmen. There's the nurses.
I originally looked for Blackfella Nights. I thought that everyone was going to Bella's one.
And again, they're all engraved with names. All right. I'm just going to, let's have a look what this says first of all. Memorial Walk, it says inspiration. So there's various people who are involved in the project, have been recognised here. Opened at sunset, 24th of April 2015. So that basically is 100 years from Anzac landings, I believe. So 25th of April 1915. Looking back in this direction. So what I have in mind for Anzac Day is the dawn service, which will be held at Nobby's Beach. And that's where we're headed right now. You might be able to see the first building down there below a car park. That's where we're aiming for. So let's go. We've got quite a few steps to head down. So it's going to be slow going for a little while. Dawn says 7:28 a.m. They look amazing against the blue sky, don't they? They do indeed. And for those who I haven't bored to death with pictures of Banksias, or for those who love them as much as I do, the Banksias are just starting to come into flower. This is a really young one. And if I line it up right, we can get 3 stages of the Banksia flower in that shot there. All right, so we're coming up to a lookout. We'll pause and have a look at that before we actually start heading down the stairs. You're going to help me. You're going to hold my hand. Don't let me fall. No wind today, so no hang gliders today, but look at this amazing view. So we've not only got the sound of the sea, Dawn, and we had the magpies earlier, but we can also, that was a wattle bird, that sort of harsh, squawky sound. Let's see if he does it again. That's it. That was the wattle bird. We're always holding hands. We are, aren't we, Cynthia? One for me too. One for me too. The man was making a joke about the lady with a cup of coffee. Asked if this is the delivery service. So this is a surveyor's mark, I believe, used for for surveying. Isn't this good? We've got a water fountain here at the top of the stairs for all those people who've just made this impressive climb that we're about to go down. All right, how are we doing for time? Just past half an hour, so it's all good. I should have a sip of water while I'm here, you know. Nice fresh water. Before I start this climb down the stairs, I should be on the other side as well. Since we drive on the left, we should also walk on the left. That means changing which hand I'm holding the gimbal with. So let's do that. There we go. And we are going to be looking at this beautiful sea the entire way. Dawn says, is water cold? The water from the water fountain was just nice temperature for drinking. Not too cold. The water for swimming is starting to get cold. I went in the day before yesterday and just found it a touch less comfortable than I'd like it to be. Then Richard went in yesterday and went, yeah, it was pretty cold. And I should be going in the water right now. I actually should be going in the salt water because it's healing for my skin. And not to bore you too much, some of you will remember I mentioned a trip to the doctor a week ago. The reason for that is that I bought a new lounge, and it turns out I have developed an allergy, a skin allergy to the leather. There's a chemical in the leather, and it has severely affected me. Just more of the dramas of Lynn, huh? So we're in a bit of a pickle at the moment, trying to work out how to resolve that, because I can't sit on it. It's affected all the back of my legs and now up my arms as well. So I'm a little bit miserable. Can you return it? Well, I'm in discussions with them right now. I'm backwards and forwards emailing their customer service, explaining my situation. I mean, I guess you could argue buyer beware, and the buyer should know what they're buying, but I've also pointed out that this is a severe and permanent health issue for me. So I'd like them to come up with a solution for me. And we're just waiting at the moment. So there we go. Sorry to bore you with that. You didn't need to know all that. I was just really explaining why I should really be out in the salt water more. It would help my skin. Okay. Actually, that's a currawong. Is that a currawong? That's a currawong. That's not a magpie, the one right in front of us here. And the clue is that the magpie has a white head and neck, whereas the currawong is mostly black, just with white on its wings and tail. Similar sort of bird, similar sort of diet, so they do somewhat compete. You can see the bright yellow, oh, he's flown off. I was going to say you can see his bright yellow eye. And they're slightly larger than the magpie as well. Neil says, need to sit on towels. Yeah, I'm doing that, Neil. I actually went out and bought a comforter. So I don't have any skin contact with the leather itself. And before I bought that and washed it to make sure there was no chemicals in the brand new comforter, I was sitting on a towel, basically. Hi, birdies, says Cynthia. I think this is a juvenile. Do you see? Oh, you might be able to see it's got a grey colouring to its body feathers. They don't turn fully black until they're adult. Well, we're doing pretty well. We're about halfway down the steps. Let's have a look back up again, if it's not too blinding. So that's where we've come from. Just checking, is Neil? Be forceful, they must exchange it. Thank you, Neil. Yeah, thank you. I do need to. I wanted to lay it out for them first and give them the opportunity, and then I'll come in forceful. Yeah. There we go. Beautiful waves. Dawn says, my feet feel nice and soft after walking in the sand and surf. Good exfoliation. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to get quite down to the sand and surf, Dawn. But yes, absolutely. It is so good for your skin. Yeah, today we might. There we go. There's a magpie. Today we're not going to get all the way down to the sand. Look, anything's possible, Neil. we'll keep it friendly to start with, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, we're actually off the main boardwalk or walkway now, and back onto the main path. I'm not sure what this is. Let's see if we can find out. Well, it's kind of a seat. The top's been bolted down for some reason. I wonder if surely it's not a crypt. Don't know what it is. Anyway, there's that thing there. We're going to be walking along the main road for just a short way. I'm hoping it's not too much traffic right at the moment, given that I started at 7, it's now 7:40. It's possibly the time of day when tradespeople are heading to work. A little bit early for office workers. Here's another one of these Banksia flowers. And then when they've finished, they turn into a seed pod that looks like this. Let me just catch up with this long comment. Who is that? Dawn says, then if they're using a chemical in their manufacturing process that they don't declare, they can't refuse to take it back, as they should stipulate. Well, this is what it basically amounts to, Dawn, is that I Googled and discovered that it's quite common that there is a chemical, the abbreviation is DMF, that's used in leather production, and it is a known thing that it causes. They call it dermatitis or something. Something I would never have known about had I not encountered the situation myself. So, and I did look at the labels before I headed back to the furniture store. There's no mention of of any chemicals of any kind on the labels. So yeah, I think it is a bit of an issue. I think I'm in a fairly strong position, so we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, if you hear me whinging about my skin, that's what it is. All right, here, look, right next to the main road. It does, Neil. It comes in a fabric. Richard had his heart set on leather. He's probably parked up and watching now. We're not going to blame Richard's decision. Oh, look, leather is lovely, isn't it? Just a shame, that's all. All right, so which one of these houses would we like, guys? Which one do you want to choose? We've got the white ones down there with the gable or the curved roofs. We've got that bone-coloured one there. This one's quite nice in the centre of the picture now. Dawn, I have no issue with us using leather as a product if we eat meat. So I guess that's a part of, how would you describe it? If you've got a responsible use of the animal, use the whole animal. Ah, you're not watching. Richard's arrived. He hasn't been watching. It's okay. We've been talking about him. I just said that you had your heart set on leather. He's nodding. All right. So we're almost done at the surf club. Is that where we're having coffee?
I think so.
You think so? Part of the decision-making process when it comes to deciding where we're having coffee is whether they serve it in proper cups or takeaway cups. So, do we know what this place does? Yeah, okay. We've got keep cups in the car for exactly that situation. What are they doing? Oh, is it that rough, is it? I'm just looking at the nice waves out there. Neil says, what's your preference of cups? We prefer not to use takeaway cups, Neil, for environmental reasons. The whole creating waste, minimising waste aspect of it. So we would prefer to choose a cafe that doesn't serve coffee in takeaway cups wherever possible. Mary Lou says, could watch the waves for hours. I really have to think about whether I can sit here and just set the camera up and just record the surf for an hour and then upload that to YouTube or put it on loop somehow. That would be cool. Sorry?
A stand is down there.
A stand?
Don't need a stand. Sure.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Coast Watch thing. Ah.
I took a photo and sent it.
Oh, did you? Yeah, there's this citizen science project along the coast. I don't know if it's just New South Wales or if it's all of Australia, but they invite you to prop your camera up at a designated spot and take a photo and then submit it to their, I guess, collective library. And that from there they can judge how the coast is changing. Sorry, Mary Lou, what's Mary Lou says? I'd love to do it. Yeah, I really would. I should try and work out how and when I can do that. Be soothed by the sound of the sea. The steps weren't too bad. I just took it very slowly. Richard got out of taking the steps because he brought the car down. That's all right, he gets lots of steps in at other places. Crash. and the path finishes, well, it doesn't finish because it does continue on for quite a long way, but yeah, you can actually walk to Sydney from here if you want to. But we have this expansive lookout here, which is really lovely. Yeah. All right, so here we go. We get the opportunity to pan all the way around and look at this beautiful surf. Oh goodness, that does look rough. These people down here. A bit wild and woolly down there. There's a section of the beach that's got some buoys, a line of floats heading out. So they've kind of roped off this as a swimming section here. And this is this citizen science thing I was talking about. So they invite you to position your camera and then submit the photo that you take via that QR code. And you just pop your camera up on here. And what they're doing is studying the way the coast changes. And there's these markers, these things are set up in quite a lot of places. So these are the organisations that are involved. It looks like it is purely a New South Wales thing. University of New South Wales, University of New South Wales, Sydney, the government, and City of Newcastle. Okay. Yeah, I saw them. A bit wild and woolly, isn't it? Yeah, the float line. There's a swimming area that's been designated, I'd say, by that line of floats. I'm just trying to catch up with what's been said here. Hi, Lynn. Lynn says, hi, Richard. I see you waving in the shadow.
Oh, good.
Yeah, wave. And Neil says, I wish things would warm up already. What else did I miss? The sea is beautiful and relaxing to watch. Can you imagine submitting one of our pics? Oh, we could, couldn't we? I just have to make sure that I've got the camera set up in exactly the right spot. All right, let's head down to this cafe. Rich is going to go get the keep cups for us to make sure that we aren't contributing to excessive waste. And we have arrived at, I think this is Bar Beach. It's Cooks Hill Surf Club, but I think it's actually Bar Beach. So there's people down there swimming, and I reckon that looks a bit rough. Just see what Dawn says. Oh, you do already use the sound of the sea for sleeping. It's so, what's the word? I'm looking for a word. Somnolent, is that the correct word? Something like that. It is, it's soothing. You're very welcome, Lynn. And thanks for coming along. Cynthia says, this was a wonderful Where Am I Tuesday. Yeah, I hear you, Cynthia. Mary Lou says, I have a sound machine by my bed, Dawn. Waves is my favourite. Let me have a think about how and where I can do the perfect hour of wave noises, wave action, wave video. I'll have a think about that. I'll come up with something. All right. Well, tomorrow I'm doing where am I? I'm doing a YouTube premiere, and this is one that I've rescued from Facebook because, as some of you probably already know, Facebook is deleting our videos after June. So we've got 3 months to actually get all our live recordings off Facebook, and I've uploaded another one that I'll present as a YouTube premiere tomorrow. I'm just trying to remember what it is. What is it? That's a big wave. That was a big wave, that one. Can't remember. What have I uploaded for tomorrow? Auburn. I think it's Auburn Botanic Gardens and the Wildlife Park. So we've got the little wildlife park with wallabies and wombats, emus and kangaroos, and also the Japanese garden. So it's all in one sort of complex. And there's an aviary as well. So that's what I'm delivering as a YouTube premiere tomorrow, if you'd like to join me for that. And we're going to head up here. I think this is where the cafe is. I haven't been here before. Looks promising. There's seats and umbrellas. It's a good sign. Hope the coffee's good. Hi, Joyce. How is it you seem like you're in Europe? No, I'm not in Europe. And Anne says, Japanese garden and wombats, unlikely pairing. Thank you for looking that up for me, Anne. Where are we? Is that the old ones too? Yes, Neil. Yes. Were you aware of this? And that's why I'm putting them up. I'm not sure how you're going to go with copyright. I don't know if that's an issue for you, but you're not monetized. So you shouldn't have a problem, I don't think, because you're not trying to monetize your videos. But yes, have a think about how you might be able to retrieve. And then after June, they're going to give you 30 days. So anything that you do live after June, you've got 30 days and they're going to take it down. So, so I'm madly retrieving my old ones. Right, we have been here before. I remember seagulls. We did have fish and chips here, I remember now. Yeah. Yeah, in order. Here's our cups. We've got our keep cups here. Oh, they've got real cups. We don't really need it. Yeah, I'll find a seat over there somewhere.
Okay.
This is the menu. So you can have fish tacos, barramundi burger. They're all about $17, $18, which isn't too bad. And then fish and chips is $18.50. Double or nothing burger. Two Wagyu patties, 2 cheese, lettuce, pickle, and special sauce on a toasted bun, $17. That's not bad, eh? All right, let's go find a seat. That noisy bird is a feral. It's this one here. It's the Indian myna, or I think it's also called a common myna. And that's the call it makes. They're quite aggressive. Our small birds do tend to suffer when they're present, as in they compete for nesting sites. I think they prey on the fledglings as well, the chicks. Sustainable seafood is great, isn't it, Joyce? Where are we? Just catching up. After taxes, I'll work on that. Yeah. I don't envy you. I hate doing taxes. I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore, Neil. And Joyce says, some fun seaside. There's seats and umbrellas there. How is your daughter doing? Is she in school? Does she live with her family? My children are all adults, Joyce. All right. So, how long have we been going? Just on an hour. Shall we wait till the coffee comes? I think we'll wait till the coffee comes, eh? Look out at the. Oh, that's a big wave. That's a big one. Oh, have we lost signal? Have we? Okay. Well, if that's the case, I'll sign off. There's no point hanging around if the picture's no good. Let me turn the camera around and finish up. All right. So if the picture's fuzzy, I'll just move back over here where possibly it was better. Let's just head over here. All right. Thanks everyone for joining me today. I won't wait for the coffee if the picture's no good. Let's reconvene tomorrow. Sorry the picture's gone fuzzy, but there we go. If it's improved, you've got the sea over my shoulder, and I'll finish up and bid you all farewell. All right. Thanks everyone. Bye for now. Sound is good. That's good, Lynn. Oh, my children are 25 and up. Joyce. Okay. Bye for now.